All right, welcome back to the deep dive. You know, it's funny, spring is in the air, and it got me thinking about this word vernal.
Vernal.
Yeah, it means like relating to spring,
Yeah.
new beginnings, fresh starts, all that. And I don't know about you, but that whole feeling of renewal, that's what I really wanted to dig into today.
I like it. So are we talking like metaphorically, or are we really getting into the science of spring fever?
Haha. Well, a bit of both, maybe. Actually, we've been diving deep into this source, vernal awakening, renewal through presence and resilience. And let me tell you, it gets pretty deep into what makes us feel, well, renewed and kind of ready to take on the world.
This sounds intriguing. I'm all ears.
So instead of making everyone read the whole thing, and it's a bit dense, not gonna lie, we're gonna break down the key ideas for you. Like, what are the core ingredients of this vernal awakening feeling?
All right, I'm ready for the shortcut. Give me the cheat codes to renewal.
Okay, so the first one, and this might surprise you, is that it all starts with facing our own mortality.
Whoa. Okay, starting off heavy. Tell me more.
Yeah, right. But it's not about being gloomy. It's more about recognizing that our time is, well, limited. And the source argues that realizing that can actually make us more present, more focused. Like when you truly grasp that life isn't infinite, suddenly not taking action feels like a much bigger risk.
It's like all of a sudden you're less afraid of failing. Because what's the alternative? Just letting time slip away.
Exactly. Like a switch flips. And hey, if you ever felt that, like that awareness of your own mortality, even for a second, has it ever pushed you to do something you'd been putting off?
That's a good question. I think maybe subconsciously, like when I realize I'm not getting any younger and there are things I want to achieve. But the source also talks about this other side of renewal, right? The one that's almost the opposite of facing your mortality. It's about that feeling of like starting something new and being totally naive to the potential downsides.
Oh, yeah. That's the second key ingredient, the power of inexperience. Like when you haven't encountered any setbacks yet, you feel almost invincible, right?
It's so true. You have that pure, unadulterated enthusiasm. I remember when I first started learning to play the guitar, I was convinced I'd be the next Jimi Hendrix in no time.
Ha ha ha. We've all been there. It's like just pure momentum because you haven't hit any roadblocks yet. No one's told you it's hard, so you just go for it.
Right.
Have you ever felt that kind of unstoppable energy pushing you forward?
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder, how does that compare to the kind of resilience you build after you actually go through those challenges and failures?
That's a perfect segue to the third ingredient because the source also dives into how perseverance, like true grit, often comes from having faced those failures and coming out the other side. It's like hitting rock bottom can oddly make you feel freer to keep trying.
Because you've already been through the worst of it.
Exactly. You know, like Kermit the Frog once said, "I'm not giving up, I'm still here and I'm staying." That, to me, captures that feeling perfectly. Like, what more can they throw at you?
Love that Kermit wisdom.
Yeah.
And the source really emphasizes how both of those things, that early ignorance of potential downsides and the later resilience from overcoming challenges, can be hugely motivating.
Totally. Can you relate to that? Like pushing forward with everything you have because, well, you feel like you have nothing left to lose. It's kind of liberating in a different way, isn't it?
Definitely. I can see how all three of these lead to renewal in such unique ways.
Right. So, to wrap it all up, we've got these three pathways to that feeling of vernal awakening, becoming super present because we realize our time is precious, riding the wave of pure, naive enthusiasm when we're starting something new, and then that hard-earned resilience we develop from overcoming challenges.
It's fascinating how those seemingly opposite experiences, the naivete and the resilience, can both lead to the same feeling of renewal.
Yeah, I agree. It's like whether we're blissfully unaware of potential obstacles or we've already stared them down, that forward momentum is what truly renews us.
I think you've cracked the code.
So, as you're listening to all this, think about which of these resonates most with you. And maybe even more importantly, how can you tap into these feelings no matter what time of year it is to create your own personal vernal awakening?
That's something we can all strive for.
Absolutely.